All righty, ladies and gents, back at y'all with another pre-recorded joint. Let me plug the joint right quick. Desire without discipline makes you weak. Most men don't get this. Desire without discipline makes you weak. Most men don't get this. Okay, let me also say this because I want guys to understand something. Most men do not have a sex problem. What they do have is a discipline problem. If your desire for women controls your actions, your decisions, and your mindset, you're not operating as a man with options, but rather you're operating as a slave to impulse. And a lot of guys, unfortunately, they are slaves to their sexual desires. They are slaves to their desire for this woman or that woman. You're a slave to it. You're held in mental captivity behind trying to gain access to women sexually, and that's a problem. Again, gentlemen, desire without discipline makes you weak. Most men don't get this. Let me hit y'all with this right quick. Sexual desire is a biological imperative, and that's a fact. It's quite natural for you to have a yearning to have sex with women you are attracted to, just like women have a yearning to have sex with men they are attracted to. So sexual desire is a biological imperative for both sexes, right? Simply because our main function is to procreate. Now, because we are intelligent human beings, we have the ability to make it make sense. We have the ability to rationalize our choices and our decision making while also desiring to connect with women on a sexual tip. Again, sexual desire is a biological imperative, but weak males let it dictate their behavior, their standards, and their self-worth. They pedestalize women, chase validation, and move emotionally instead of strategically, right? So understand, let me say this again. Gentlemen, there is no shame in you desiring sex. There is no shame in you getting at women that you are sexually attracted to for the purposes of having sex. There's nothing wrong with that. However, how you go about it, that's where the problem begins, right? So again, there's no shame in that. And that's what I want you guys to understand. The internet, YouTube specifically, is littered with dating advice, right? Dating advice all over the place, telling you how to do this, telling you how to do that. The problem is a lot of guys go about trying to deal with women with no discipline. So you're literally all over the place and you are a slave to your desires. And that shit got you making bad decisions. It literally has you playing yourself out here. And it also has you forfeiting your power for a nut. And I need you guys to understand that. There are a lot of guys out here who forfeit their power as men for a nut. You're trading your power as a man for a nut. In many cases, a nut you're never going to get, right? Look, let me tell y'all something. I'm going to give y'all guys a scenario. I'm going to give you an A and B scenario. Guy A, guy B. And I'm going to show you how a lot of guys, because they lack discipline, because they have self-esteem issues, because they have insecurities, and because they lack self-assuredness associated with dealing with women, they make mistakes. And let me just say this real quick, right? Because a lot of guys are always asking for pickup lines. Oh, what do I say? And what you fail to understand, your words pale in comparison to your behaviors and how you act, how you conduct yourself, right? Case in point, again, A, B scenario, guy A, guy B, right? I've seen Facebook posts in the past where A guy went out on a date with a woman, and later on, they were conversing via text. And the guy asked her, "Hey, so what are you about to get into?" And she told the guy, "I'm about to go on another date." And the guy got upset, called her out of her name, called her a hoe, told her it was messed up that she's going out with another guy after they just went out. Now, bear in mind, this is a woman he just met. He hadn't had sex with this woman yet. They literally just met. Maybe they've known each other a few days or a week or so. And this guy is reacting emotionally towards this woman having a dating life, right? So, what guys don't understand, we can give you words to run with. We can give you all types of pickup lines, but the moment you are emotionally triggered by a woman living her life, the real you will emerge. So all of those low self-esteem things you have going on, those insecurities you have going on, those come bubbling to the surface when you deal with women. Pickup lines can't hide who you really are. And your reaction to women show them who you really are, right? So guy A, guy B, right? So again, if you have a guy, for instance, right? You and a woman meet up, you guys enjoy each other's company. Towards the end of the date, you walking her to the car, and you tell them, "Hey, when you get to where you're going safe," let's say you say this: "When you get home, text me and let me know you made it there safe." And let's say she says, "Oh, I'm not going home. I'm going on another date." Right then and there, how you react or respond to that shows women exactly what category to put you in. See, a guy who's insecure, right? A guy who has no emotional discipline, he's going to react harshly to that. So it doesn't matter what he said prior that was smooth, right? None of that matters. All that matters are your behaviors, right? So when you act like that, women automatically know you're not that guy. You're not that guy, right? Because if you were that guy and a woman told you, "Oh, I'm about to go on another date," how you would react or respond to that is simply, "All right, well, girl, wherever you going, just hit a brother up and let me know you made it there safe, right? And we can get together next week and do this again," right? That guy, that's the guy that's displaying attractive behavior. Now, a lot of you guys, you're not going to look at it like that. You're not going to look at it like that. That guy who can tell a chick, "Hey, do what you do. Hit me up later." That's the guy that women are going to be curious about. That's the guy where there's going to be some intrigue because they're not used to guys being that supremely confident that they could care less if that woman is going out on another date. Baby girl, that's what you're supposed to do. Because most guys are actually insecure. They want to be prioritized right off the cuff. Right? So when a woman lets them know in no uncertain terms that they're not the only guy, a lot of those guys, they feel a little inferior because they feel like there's direct competition to gain access to this woman. And there is no competition. Again, desire without discipline makes you weak. Most men don't get this. Another thing about discipline, right? This is something that most guys lack. Most guys don't have a consistent way that they deal with women no matter what. No matter what's going on, most guys do not have a consistent way that they deal with women. Case in point. Case in point. Some of you may recall a story that I told you, right? And I told a story, several times by now, right? I met a young lady on a Friday, right? Went to a little night spot, met this young lady. We got into some freak dancing activities. It got a little hot and heavy, right? I was trying to pull out the spot and get her to the crib on some one night stand type shit. And although she wasn't down to leave that night and make it happen, she was down to make it happen at a later date. Now, mind you, we met on a Friday, right? So we end up exchanging contact information. The very next day, literally less than 24 hours after meeting her, we ended up on the phone. And I told her I wanted her to come visit me so we could rekindle what we started the previous night. Right? And she was with it, but then she added this to it. She tried to interject an agenda, right? P game. She tried to interject her agenda, right? So if y'all recall, right, I told you guys that, again, told her I wanted her to come visit me. She was with it. But then she added this. She was like, well, I'm about to go, eat dinner with some of my homegirls. Why don't you join us and I'll pay for you, right? Stop right there. Desire without discipline makes you weak. Most men don't get this. My discipline, even though I'm dealing with a woman I'm sexually attracted to, and she is sexually attracted to me, I stick to the script. I don't switch up. I don't change anything. I stick to the script of how I move, period. Why? Because I'm a disciplined man and I understand the ramifications of being undisciplined and moving with my feelings versus being practical, right? So when she offered to pay for dinner, I politely declined and said, I'm going to, decline. Go ahead and enjoy your time with your girls. When you're done, if you still want to see me, holler at me, right? So sure enough, she hollered at me when they were done, and we end up catching up later that night. Now, understand something. I have dating rules, and I have dating rules because I have discipline. I was not about to go against my rules just because this woman was offering to pay for a meal, right? Number one, I told you guys, for me personally, breaking bread with a woman or sharing a meal with a woman, for me, is intimate. I'm not sharing meals with women I just met. I don't do that. I don't care if she offered to pay or not. But also another thing, she wanted me to meet her friends. I'm not trying to meet your friends. It's way too soon, way too early for us to be kicking it like that. So I declined it. A lot of guys would have took the offer. They would have been like, oh, hell yeah, man, she cool than a motherfucker. I'm going to go hang with her and her girls because you dudes are suckers. You have no boundaries. You have no standards. You have no discipline. You just move as the woman moves. You, quote unquote, go with the flow. I don't go with the flow because I am the flow. I create the flow. I dictate the pace of how I want things to go, and I don't deviate. Let me break down why. So you guys can understand, right? Because there's a lot of advice on the internet, and all it's geared to do is give guys a bunch of goofy ass schemes and tactics to try and acquire casual sex. My thing is, I'm all for casual sex, but you have to be disciplined. Let me explain why. And I've said this a few times. Every woman that I ended up dealing with seriously, whether it turned into a serious relationship, a marriage, whether we had children or not, all these different things. When I first met these women, I had no idea that these women would turn into future long-term girlfriends, a wife, the future mother of my children. I didn't know any of that. Because in the beginning, it was just casual sex. Fuck buddy shit. That's all it was, right? So imagine if I would have broke my rules, if I would have been undisciplined, And if I would have followed her, that could have literally changed the whole dynamic of how she saw me, and it would have changed the future dynamic of how we actually interacted with each other. Right? Again, you had a woman who, on one hand, she is showing sexual interest, but on the other hand, she's trying to sneak some non-sexual shit in there. And my rule is this: we don't do non-sexual shit in the beginning. That's not what we do. Now, if her and I went out on a date, just her and I, that's one thing. But sharing a meal together, absolutely not. Me meeting her friends so soon into the interaction, absolutely not. Right? And also, what you guys don't understand, subconsciously, what that would have showed her was that anything we did sexually would have been tied to her getting what she wanted non-sexually first. And at that point, guess who's running the show? Her. So what guys have to understand, if you're talking about casual sex encounters, you do not want casual sex encounters with strings attached. You want to eliminate that at all costs. And you need discipline to achieve that. Desire without discipline makes you weak. Most men don't get this. Guys, how you start is how you finish. When you deal with these women, in many cases, you have no idea of what that encounter may actually evolve into later on. So it's important that you set the stage early and often as to how things are going to be dealing with you. And women should know right away, early and often and consistently, that how things are done in your world is done in a specified way to your liking, and you only deal with women on your terms, strictly on your terms, and you don't deviate. And if that means the woman that you are attracted to doesn't want to have sex now because she doesn't want to go along with how you want to do shit exactly, you need to have enough discipline to be okay with that. Most guys don't have that discipline. Why? Because you are controlled by your dick. You are a slave to your sexual desires. Desire without discipline makes you weak. Most men don't get this. I'm gonna holler at y'all. Peace.